picking berries at the Last Resort Farm in Moncton. It's one of the great and few, purely organic, certified organic strawberry farms. And I'm planning this afternoon to make the first jam and ice cream of the season. It is a little early in the season. You can see there are lots yet to ripen, but you know, you get a hankering after things made with strawberries. When you taste a perfect, fresh, warm, by the sun strawberry, you almost think it's a sin to make them into jam or into ice cream. But then in the middle of winter, when you're aching for summer and you bite into that fantastic jam, you're transported right back to the berry field. So that's why we pick and make jam. Today's bounty. So even in the very first days of the picking season, we still managed to come home with, or we're going to go home, we're still at the farm, with 10 quarts of strawberries, which we will, we'll look at them and we might actually just leave them out for a day before we macerate them, depending on how ready we think they are. And then some of them will give a one-day maceration period too, and some will give 2 days. Two-step process, because we're going to make 2 different kinds of French-style jams today, or this weekend. Okay, so we're back home now, and we have 2 processes that we're going to be engaging in for making jam. One is a classic French technique that I've been using over the years, and the second is another French technique, which I've discovered in this amazing book, Mes Confitures, by Christine Ferbet. And this book is really the most advanced and beautiful compilation of recipes by this very famous jam maker in France. And so I'm going to try her technique as well. And she uses, it's much more complicated and time consuming, but it seems as though you might get the most exquisite jam you've ever had. Now as I start working with these strawberries, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I make jam the way I do and why I'm interested in sharing my techniques with you. When I was a little girl growing up, we had a house, we still have this house on the coast of Maine, and it was surrounded by wild blueberry and strawberry fields. And my father and I would always go out and pick strawberries in June, and they're tiny. They're amazing, but they're tiny. And so the process of, first of all, gathering a quart of wild strawberries takes hours versus a quart of cultivated berries, which takes minutes. But the berries are incomparable. We used a process which is a classic ball canning jar recipe that my mom would follow. And we used strawberries, sugar, lemon juice, which is what we're going to use today. But we use commercial pectin in that process. So we would pick the berries in the morning, spend hours cleaning them, taking the hulls off, which we're going to do today with these, as you have to. You don't want the hulls in your jam. And then we would make the jam the same day. What we're going to do today is wash the berries lightly and then pat them dry, because you don't want excess moisture. Take the hulls off. And then we're going to macerate them with sugar and lemon juice overnight. I learned this technique when I was living in France. My French mother, I spent my senior year in high school in France, living with a French family in Brittany. And she would make strawberry jam in this fashion. And so for my early years of making jam as an adult, I kind of went back and forth between the two. But to make jam without commercial pectin, there's just something really beautiful about the flavor. And to macerate the berries in the lemon juice and the sugar overnight creates this heightened, beautiful flavor that is the essence of strawberries in your jam. Nothing like it. Absolutely nothing is like it. So I hope that you'll enjoy watching this video, and then you'll try this on your own, because it's very simple. All you have to do is realize it's going to take you a couple days to make it. So first step is you need to measure your berries by the cup. For every cup of berries, you will use 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon lemon juice. That's all you need to know. We've got this nicely mixed at this point. Now, I know that Christine Ferber, she would at this point put it in the refrigerator overnight, whereas Amanda Hesser, who has written several cookbooks, and this one happens to be fantastic, The Cook and the Gardener, where she spends a year being the cook at a chateau, and she gets to be great friends with the gardener and his wife, and she learns superb secrets of old-fashioned French cooking from them. And one of the things that she learns is making good strawberry jam, and she macerates it, her strawberries, and she uses a very similar technique to mine, my French mother's, and she macerates them at room temperature, which is what I do, unless it's an extremely hot day. If it is, of course, put it in the fridge. Okay, welcome back. Next day, we have, as you recall, in process 2 kinds of strawberry jam, the 2-day maceration process and the 1-day. And it's really quite interesting if you come on closer to me. This is the jam we're actually going to make to completion today. This is the process I'm accustomed to, in which we leave the berries overnight at room temperature to macerate. So you can see how wonderfully juicy those are. There's still sugar on the bottom that we're going to mix in, and that will dissolve fully when we put it on the heat. And in a little bit we're going to bring that to the heat, but we're going to let that one stay for a few more minutes while we prepare the new kind of 2-step maceration process, French strawberry jam. Now look at how different this one is. This is the batch that we put in the fridge last night. And you can see it's all, the juices were not released nearly as much because of the cold temperature keeping them inside the strawberries. So this batch, the instructions tell me to put this on in a pan and bring it to a simmer. And once it's at a simmer, you actually put it back in the ceramic bowl and cover it with parchment paper and back into the fridge until tomorrow.